Yeah, media tour day, like yeah. We're on I like that.
Yeah, we are
leave
going
that
through
tour
music
days,
on
yeah.
the club tour
Lenny,
day.
I was going to tell you something that
Jay, I'm
if you are
listening.
going to be sitting there, it's a very prestigious seat.
You have to drop money.
If you want to
seats have been
sit,
swapped.
if you want to sit there, it's a very prestigious seat. You understand? Because usually we're going to even cage that seat, put a glass around that seat.
So nobody
small.
sits here again.
But are you throwing money?
So nobody
I've been
sits
sitting
here
here for
again.
12 minutes with you. You haven't even thrown this thing at me.
I can throw my shirt at you.
Eraser.
Should I throw my shirt?
Eh?
That's all I have.
I tell you what, it to be bigger than the money. To be the biggest thing this month. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so it was for us. It was more of welcoming Shatta, to 3 Music. In past times you'd heard, today feuds here and there and all of that. So it was more of welcome Shatta back home to a place of peace. The brand doesn't speak of any form of abuse or violence or being racist on music airplays and all the things that people have been thinking about with the relation between Shatta Wale and 3 Music. That is all false. It's a big family. So it was more of bringing him home, and let's have a conversation about the conversation as well. Shatta has been on so many media rounds, and for us it wasn't about controversy, but for us it was about tapping into the other side of Shatta Wale, the past that you don't know of: family, school, subject courses, growing up, dark times, depression, stress, frustration, wealth, success, and all those other areas the learnings we could pick from Shatta. And I must say that the conversation was a very good one over the weekend. Let me say thanks to the Shatta movement team, kept the trends on for over 48 hours on social media, and truly appreciative of the support you threw in there. And quite different conversations, different opinions from different angles. People wishing Shatta had said more, people saying that, and he did that. I just saw one that some guy is insulting us. In fact, the guy is insulting me on my page, right, saying that all we spoke about was Stonebwoy. And I'm like, did you watch the 2-hour conversation? Like, did you watch the 2-hour conversation? How did we all talk about Stonebwoy? I mean, anyway. But Olele, I'm jumping to your page because you threw quite a number of pointers on the interview that but after the interview you wrote plenty things. Really, I can't even find anything.
Let me
it's on the things,
well.
yeah, the 12 points, yeah, you broke down about Shatta as well. It was a great interview. But before that, guys, let me just do a quick roundhouse conversation on how each and everyone felt and the learnings from the convo, starting off with my brother Cyril. Cyril, good morning, Cyril.
Good morning.
Yes.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
For me it was insightful, and my first extended interaction with him, I realized that a lot of ill has fallen him with regards to the press impressions that have been created, out there in the media space, but also realizing that as much as he's a soft-spoken, sweet guy that is relatable, a lot of the press that has gone out about him is also due to the moments where he goes wild, quote unquote. And I think people are allowed to react or interpret things however they see fit.
Yeah.
What I do know is that the violent, ignorant, and rowdy, and dirty, and all those unfortunate words that were part of the brand perception are all false. At least from where I stand, and I'm just happy that we got the chance to break it down. Of course, realizing that his experiences are also from quote unquote a bit of a dark place, talking about the childhood, leaving home, the marital status, being on the streets, and it's not beautiful. The beginning is not beautiful, but it's just good to see that at least there's some light today in who Shatta Wale has become. Yeah, so for that's what I experienced from the interview.
I've got a few extra questions, but Lenny, your take on the whole experience, the learnings in hearing the story of Shatta Wale?
I think that whoever someone is as an adult stems from somewhere, right? I think you guys have heard me say time and again how as a child, whatever experiences you have had, or even growing up, whether it was your teenage, whatever, it still impacts who you are as an adult. And I think that we've seen it with Shatta, how he's not ready to take any quote unquote looking down upon or people talking ill of him, and why he comes out to speak his mind and say what he has to say. And then also the fact that he's tenacious, he's been able to push the brand through. I mean, whether people like it or not, and he doesn't really mind or care about what people say about him and, you know, the brand and everything. I think he has his mind focused on something, right? And if we are all as focused as he is, whether we agree with what his focus is or not, maybe we'll also, you know, thrive or do better, or you know, be the best versions of ourselves in whatever fields we find ourselves. Like I said earlier in the show, the fact that he was able to bounce back after a period also really stuck out to me, because you all will agree with me, right? Not everybody is able to bounce back, and it doesn't only have to do with music. If you fall off something, the mental to even want to do that thing again, the shame in it, the fact that you may even start and you fail, you will start and people will laugh at you because you started before and then you failed, right? The possibilities, the impossibilities in doing that, you know, are a lot. But he's been able to resurface when he did, and then, you know, stay relevant regardless of whatever it is, right? Jay, I remember several years ago, I think in 2019, you said to me,
born.
In 2019, you weren't born. You said to me,
I wasn't born.
Okay, well, then maybe it was in a dream. You said to me that I should focus on relevance, right?
It was me.
So yeah, Jay said something like focus on relevance. So in whatever field you are in, you know, even if you are not as active, you know, whatever it is that will make you relevant in the field, not negatively, right? Stick to that. And Jay, that has stuck with me. I think I've mentioned it to you a few times that it really stuck with me. So I think that he's also, you know, just managing to surf the waves of the industry, right? In also referring to himself as a comedian, right? I think everything comes together for him. He has a plan, so he's sticking to it. He said that he has an exit plan and all of that. He knows when he wants to write a book. He knows, you know, all of that. So I think is really, really good to see. And I like the angles, you know, we chose. The fact that we didn't delve into, you know, match controversy, all of that. It's nice. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got an interesting question to ask all three of us afterwards, but let me hear from Olele. And Olele, we'll come to your point number 7. On Olele's X handle, there were a few pointers that he broke down in understanding this conversation with Shatta, and it's the number 7 that does it for me. But let me hear from you as well. You know, your general overview on the conversation.
Listen, I just want to say that if you are looking forward to interview Shatta, just have a lot of money and a couple of houses. I'm just joking, just by the way. But like I said in my 12-pointer tweet, I still think that interview is arguably Shatta's best interview with any media house. And I know people may have their reservations about how, you know, we were not, some say we're not tough, some say we allowed him to get away with some things. But let me speak in two positions. First, as head of content and strategy, and also as a journalist, right? So before the interview, the team did the research, right? And we noticed that with all the interviews Shatta goes on to do or goes for, he's either talking about music, industry, or entertainment. So for the first time, we had a daunting task to talk to him about himself and his life, okay? We did not have control of the names that were mentioned because that wasn't the direction. So, liar in the industry. Everybody can agree that we dare say that we have not seen a type of a personality in our space. I don't know whether in my mom's time they had someone like that, but I don't think we've had someone like Shatta Wale in a very long time or ever in the industry. So why has it become this way? and what is the end goal? What is he looking to achieve? That's why we decided to go behind the scenes and really enter into his life proper. And I know people said, oh, whatever he said is no new, but I don't think many of you knew that Shatta Wale is a victim of a circumstance. I don't think many people knew that he is still dealing with trauma. That is what I learned from the interview.
Yeah.
He is dealing with trauma, and the only way he can deal with trauma is not to be Junior, but it's to be Shatta Wale. Right? Because Shatta Wale seems to mask, the pain or perhaps the regrets of seeing his parents go different ways.
Do you think in all the successes of Shatta, it's still enough for him to, just based on this, to end this space of a dual personality?
It's enough to prove a point to those who doubted him when he decided to go into the space of being an artist or doing music. Remember, he said his uncle actually mocked him. His father was a politician. It was a spit to his status. Look, I'm a big man in this society. And to be very fair.
Look at Davido, for example.
To be very, very fair, I mean, even us as individuals, we are only celebrated today because we've made it, right? But my dad wanted me to be a doctor. She get what I'm saying? I had two options. I wanted to be a footballer.
Just imagine.
But my dad wanted me to be I wanted to be a footballer. I mean, I had look, I wanted to be a footballer. I left Bema camp to Labadi and I saw the kids play football with their bare feet on broken glasses on the ground. I was like, yo, Charlie, I'm so
That's what you want.
I want to play football. You get me? But my dad told me that, listen, you either go to school or you go to a football academy. And if you choose the other one, you have to pay for yourself. And I said, okay, I ain't paying the bills. I got to do what old soldier wants.
Charlie, but what is the influence of such, when parents' actions, is it killing dreams or is it making you a better person? Like,
it's a dare. I mean,
general.
it's what you make it. People have not been able to succeed because of the fear of, oh, my parents say I should do that. People have found themselves in professions that they really do not want to be in, but because of the social status of their parents, because of the expectations of their parents, because of the family they are coming from. Oh, in our family, all of us are lawyers, so you have to continue the generation. So sometimes I think it will take something more than just being a child or a descendant from that generation to stand out and say, you know what, I'm going to do this and actually succeed in doing it.
Please let me push this thing to this father-son, because Davido has a similar story, and it was his father he kept on mentioning.
His father gave him 1 year.
Is it and fathers, does it happen?
His mother gave him 1 year.
Does it happen with mothers and daughters, expectation? I think that one only comes when about marriage.
Marriage and daughter, I don't know. Lenny, did you get that from mommy?
Extent, no, I didn't get that. So I've said it over and over again that thankfully my mommy supported my dreams. Like, I've never wanted to be anything else.
I also want to support two of your dreams.
Okay, don't worry, you can support it. I've never wanted to be anything else. I mean, even from the young age where I wanted to be a Kwamina Dumont, I had to start wearing glasses. I went to get, Kwamina Dumont used to wear thick rim glasses.
Yeah.
Those were my first set of glasses that I got, because Kwamina Dumont wears that.
Wow.
I think I've always wanted to be, and also in choosing my courses throughout secondary school to university, I've toed the line, right? So thankfully, I'm not a typical example of someone who had to go against their parents' wishes of be this or do that or do that, right? So I'm thankful for that. However, there are some parents who do that. I've heard stories where some mothers are also against what their daughters' wishes are, or even their sons. So it's not a father-son thing strictly, or a father-daughter thing, or it's sometimes it's even both parents, right, against you, and then you have to go above that. APM, who was here, a couple of weeks ago, said that his mom was actually against it and didn't even know what he was doing until he invited her to one of his events, right? So it's never really written in print or written on stone what it should be.
To an ultimate question of the morning, one of the ultimate questions of the morning. What do you guys make of the three different personalities that we experienced here on Friday? Charles Nyama Mensah, one, which has now become a brand on its own. There's Junior, which is very, very, very family.
Family oriented.
And then there's the
Shatta
Shatta Wale. Even there's a fine area of bandana as well. But what do you guys make of this? Of these different personalities that, and how well he plays all these different personalities.
Coping mechanisms. What I see is Shatta allows Charles and Junior to live without consequence. And the tagline you get from Shatta is, "That's Shatta Wale. That be how we do." As Charles, comes with a lot of context, accountability, like you said, past experiences, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot to filter as Charles and a lot to filter as Junior. But with Shatta, all gloves are off. So I think that the three aren't, we're talking about it like it's a psychiatric evaluation.
I want to ask you.
No, the three personas we experienced.
I want to ask you,
I asked
who
him.
was here on Friday?
I asked him. I asked him that when he wakes up in the morning.
All three,
That's what I
yeah.
feel
But
that
whose presence did we feel most?
I'm intrigued by his answer to the question I asked. That when he wakes up in the morning,
It says Junior.
he said it's Junior, and Junior, from the story he told me, is daddy's boy. Junior is daddy's boy. When I buy a house, daddy comes to check the paperwork before I pay. Daddy. So that connection to be the father's son is still very strong, despite the mask of Shatta Wale that we have come to know and fall in love with. So I think it's like, when you talk to any, or when you look at any of the biopics or any of the stories of artists, actors, actresses, whatever, blah, 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 most of them are just personas. It's a mask.
Yeah, the mask.
It's 3, 2, 1, and
Even
we're
TV
live.
and radio presenters is a mask.
You understand? And for
All
me,
the time,
it's so clear. It's so clear that it's even possible that sometimes Junior gets tired of Shatta.
But he said it.
Yeah.
He said sometimes Junior will sit and look at what Shatta has done and go like, yo,
I
it's already gone.
I must have missed
You
it.
see, that is what, for me, that is what finalized the conversation for me. Any other question I asked because it was work. But when he said that, I was like, oh, okay. Then he even said, we shouldn't take the shenanigans around the act seriously. He said two things. He said, first, Junior sees what Shatta Wale has done and goes like, man, you shouldn't have done that. You should be proud of yourself.
Okay.
But it's already gone. So, right?
So interesting. Now, let me keep asking these questions. Now, this is for us. This is not to Shatta, so this is for us. Clearly, there are some things he's done that have been radical, but he has changed the narrative. Some of the things I've realized is that now some artists are quite vocal on social media, and even the mannerisms of those artists when they go online to speak, you can pick up some traits of
Yeah,
Shatta's.
but you can never be a Shatta Wale.
Yeah, in there, I'm
From
just saying.
from what we heard,
Yeah, I mean, you see,
it's coming from, you see,
look at him questioning in one of the things that he said. I didn't even realize he had said that. I think that my mind was taken away after.
With what?
So it was about the award schemes, where he said that he was criticizing the VGMAs that
they don't give any awards for the best
yes,
artist of
like
the
they
don't give any prizes.
any prizes,
But
or-
they've done it before.
yes.
GMAs have done it before.
I mean,
Just
all
the
of us
winning
are at fault. All the award, most of the award
At fault of what?
Schemes.
of not giving prizes aside from the plaques they
No,
offer
you know, but they used
As
to
in
be.
like
So
money
we used
or
to-
car.
Yeah, so beyond
There
that,
used to be
Yeah, there were
money.
problems, and
We used to-
people
so-
prizes
Yeah.
used to take 2 years.
I think the
to
last
reach
person did that was
recipient.
Obwo. Obwo's Musica at the time partnered with the VGMAs, where they give
Oh, please.
Charlie.
Cyril.
Oh, sorry, let's go.
Charlie.
Such a shady human.
You know he's a government person. Do you know that he's your CEO of Ghana Post?
Listen to something.
You two, you are pouring fuel
listen
in
to
the fire.
Yeah,
on with
and
your
I think
show, bro.
they gave out some money. I think they gave out money to the best new artist, and they give a car to the artist of the year.
There's no peace on this side.
Ah, Cyril.
If you cross to
Cyril.
this side, this is my triangle. That is microphone, my own. There's no peace.
Cyril.
Anyways, so you're saying.
So I mean, I mean,
He's talking about
But why are you trying to make him relevant to me? I say I don't care.
Obwa is the CEO of Ghana Post.
So
Hello.
what do you think of this? So clearly, Shatta Wale, I'm talking Shatta Wale, and not Junior yet. Shatta Wale has changed the status quo, the thinking of so many things. Now, artists question things more. Creative people questioning things more. Before, we saw the IGP's issue with regards to the pastors. He became a sacrificial lamb. He may have gone through a certain route that was unorthodox,
Can I say something?
But they changed the system
Can
in a
I
way.
say something?
Yes, go ahead.
It would be unfair to say that people haven't spoken up, right?
Yes.
But something that Shatta said was, they speak up in the language you and I are speaking right now.
Yes.
Very bougie, very posh.
In the tone we want.
English.
In the personality we want.
You understand?
That's why people found Kennedy Japan a monster.
You get, and I'm like, okay. But he says his unconventional ways of speaking up is what has drawn certain forms of attention to some of these subject matters. Not all the matters. I mean, obviously, some of the things that he said or has said have not really gotten any form of attention. But other things that have gotten their attention is because he used an unconventional way of, and he believes that is the only way.
Just when
because he said something about
he
said something about holding. Who did he say that you have to hold the neck and question something? He mentioned, I forgot. We were asking him about.
We're talking about the guy who left a good home to the streets now for 5 minutes. As somebody who was from a good home and even went to SS out of Accra, the first 2 days of being in SS, my whole brain was like,
stress,
oh my God, what did I do that my parents don't love me? You understand? I'm sure that's it. People will not accept it, but who cares, right? So think about somebody who has dealt with consequence pro max.
Yeah.
Of leaving a good home, a good loving home where everything is sorted.
Everything was cool.
Yes.
He had money.
And then he went from there to not even 0, -10 on the streets, in the rain, Charlie handouts,
anywhere and everywhere.
blah, blah, blah. So consequence for you is a big deal.
Yeah.
If I go talk to Tinyawa, go up.
I should have asked him how his dad was seeing him at that time.
Yeah, he said there was no interaction.
He said that his dad called him.
No, but
he said his dad
at
called
the
him.
point when we asked why he didn't go back home, he even said that he didn't want to be home because at that time his parents weren't seeing eye to eye, so he didn't want
you understand?
to.
So
regardless.
consequence, the word consequence
It's not in the dictionary.
for him, like, what's the big deal?
That's why he can call anybody else.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, I seen it.
it's
all.
like that's when
He's seen the
people are
worst.
about to, if you notice when two people are about to fight, right? Until the first consequence happens, nobody's fighting.
Yeah.
But the first blow through, no, it's like, well.
Because
So, and he's been in that constant state for God knows how long.
Yeah.
As a young kid, to leave home and go and be wherever and go through whatever, it's not coming to talk his mind on radio. That would be consequence.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
what about the 4 days you don't get any proper chop? What about the time it dey rain, his instinct was let me go inside, and then he realized, hey, I don't have any inside, go. He had the psyche of a human being. So consequence, you are thinking that if I come and say this thing on Culture Daily, well, what am I going to do on my next interview? When I go home, what will they say? Oh,
He
my
wasn't
loving
afraid of
you know,
consequence.
he's been through hell.
Yeah.
So the consequence you are dealing with is cosmetic.
Yeah.
So he will call a spade, and walk off. And if it cost him sleeping under another store, he's been the store.
and it will even be better because then he's been there before. So if you're going to a place, right? If you've not gone there before, you don't know how it's like. But if you've gone there before, you even know alternative routes to use to make it better. So he's been there before, it'll be better. Like he has nothing to lose at this point. So now you understand why he behaves the way he behaves, or he approaches issues the way he approaches issues, because he's not afraid of anybody, like he says all the time.
I think for me, the only challenge that I have with that is how innocent people are caught up in that crossfire.
Okay, that's another
yes, it's a consequence.
For life, baby.
Yes, it's a consequence, and yes, it's coming from a place of influence and inspiration, but other people are getting hurt as a result. Let's say you and I are having a disagreement, right? And Lenny is trying to get my attention. Only let's stop, and I throw my hand.
And it hits,
And that's a friendly crossfire, and sometimes because I'm so much in the heat of the moment, I'm not even thinking about learning. I want to finish you.
Yeah.
You get me? That's how I see, you know, the person. And for me, I think that is a place I wish could get a little bit of tweaking. You know, that's what I asked him. Like, you express your frustration and you speak on matters that be, and I understand that. But my problem is the people around you who get hurt by your actions.
There will always be collateral
damage.
That is what I'm saying. Collateral damage.
And I'm saying,
You know, the collateral damage. From that's what I'm saying. If I had it my way,
The collateral damage.
if I had it my way, I would say, you know what? Let's find another way. But unfortunately, and he said it.
there's no need to find another way. This is
he
the
said it's like,
product.
you know, that is him.
Bro,
he can't.
This is the product. It's like saying you want a sports car. It's gonna make noise. It's gonna be heavy on fuel. It's going to pollute the planet. It's inevitable. You either get yourself an electric something or you get your sports car. That's it. You want a barbecue. An animal is going to die. You are thinking.
Yeah.
You are thinking.
You can't do that with vegetables.
The way I
What is wrong
hung,
with you?
if I get some grilled, the thing you are saying,
You
there's a
know what
chicken
they
somewhere
think?
going.
You know what-
Because the thing you are describing is the end of my life,
That will
bro.
come for you.
It's not going to be a carrots barbecue.
You understand?
Yeah.
Better
So
come for you.
because of our comforts,
Something's
we
gotta
often
give, right?
Yeah, because
Something's
of our
gotta
comforts,
give.
we forget something is going to give. Something will give, and the things that are given are
Collateral damage.
collateral damage. So we need to weigh if it's worth it. If the end product of what is being sacrificed, because every artist,
So what is the
every
end
artist,
product? What is the end product?
the end product of Shatta Wale,
No, the end product of the action.
or the things that are
yes.
given.
Yeah.
They give us Shatta Wale, they give us the man who inspires.
No, but-
they give us the guy who is an inspiration to many, the guy whose story touches life, the guy who gives out music, the guy who is a media commodity that many brands have leveraged on. Despite all the scandals and all the issues, brands have and media platforms have benefited of this guy. He's the guy who has featured artists and given them leverage. This guy was part of the Lion King soundtrack. You understand? So some problem somewhere is not necessarily the
But I
end.
think there's one important thing that you missed out in your submission, and that is he wants to be heard. And I think that is
I
where.
think the most heard person in Ghana is
It's
Shatta
Shatta
Wale.
Wale.
Are
So-
you sure?
oh.
There's a difference between listening to
Have
somebody
you seen the
and hearing
numbers?
somebody.
Have you?
It's
No.
crazy.
The problem is, let me tell you what the problem with Shatta Wale's fan base is. Shatta Wale is heard by millions of people who have no power to act on what they've heard.
I think what Olele is trying
Think
to
about
say
it.
is hearing and listening. So
Yes.
he's heard, but he's not
Yes.
listened to.
No.
Look, people are
Do you
hearing him
understand?
speak.
The people who
But
are
they're not listening.
They're not listening to him. That's what I'm
listen,
saying.
Yeah, that's
the
what Olele
core
is
of
saying.
Shatta Wale's fan base who hear him, listening to him, understand what he's saying, relate with it, accept it, can't do anything about it.
No, but he's not talking to people who can't do something about it.
No.
He's talking to people
He's talking to
who have the power to do something
Yes,
about
and the
it.
people who have the power to do
Are not listening to
no.
him, but they are hearing him.
No, the people who have the power to listen, the people who have the power to do something about it, right, are listening to him, are hearing him, and are understanding it, but cannot break the wall of the perceived consequence of them acting on what they've heard. Back to the consequence
Okay.
problem.
Okay, I see
If
what you
there
mean, the
was a
perception.
Shatta Wale in the media space,
Three more of him.
if there were three more, if there was one Shatta Wale on TV and one on radio, who watched the Shatta Wale live and agreed and went, it be true.
There'll be
That Monday
synergy.
morning radio,
Fire.
maybe they go spoil the radio station. But the
get
disconnect is that the person who is listening to him on media, it's like, matter he talk. But the person
still
who wear
the
the nice Shatta and
consequence,
come
it's
and
still the
and
So
consequence.
then
come
again,
and-
it comes again to the consequence of the perception that has been created. It's like what the Bible talk about the wise poor man, right? Nobody takes the advice of the wise poor man because he's poor.
Yeah, why is the
right?
little doctor not rich?
What
The
not
same
rich? Like,
philosophy.
and I feel like that is what the Shatta brand is suffering.
No.
No, I'm coming. Like we talked about it when he was here. The perception of the brand Shatta Wale has created this wall of consideration, and it's not like it's gonna change. It's something that he needs to maintain. This is a beast he's created, right? And he needs to keep feeding the beast. And even though he says that does not make him relevant, I believe that the beast needs to be fed. And then I think the last time we talked about it here before he came, that will we ever see a Shatta Wale that is calmer than what we see?
Maybe we'll see a junior or a child.
We'll see a
like
junior,
that,
but
not a
it
Shatta.
is you and I or Jay Foley who know Shatta Wale beyond the scenes of what we see on
I mean, it's
on,
like
on
a
the
Tupac
media.
story. Like,
like
are we ever going to have another Tupac?
Because when people come and say Shatta Wale is sweet, but he has a sweet side, he has a sweet. Another was here. She said Shatta Wale has a sweet side, he has a sweet side. So where is the sweet side?
Do you know why Shatta Wale is both sweet and sour? It's because
I'm going to agree on
the dom of the boys. Listen, when Shatta Wale is interacting in an intimate setting, in a closed circuit, he doesn't have that fight. He's not trying to put his truth out and amplify his perceptions and what he thinks the world should be. That's not what he does in intimate settings. So if he's talking to an Anaba, that Shatta Wale that's talking to an Anaba is not the Shatta Wale that's trying to fight for change in the music industry. He's talking to Nanaba. Do you get what I'm saying? That's Shatta Wale talking to Olele. It's not going to be this thing. It's a human being. But when he's trying to address issues, right, and he sees those issues as his truth, then the passion comes to bear. And in that passion is where all your collateral damage
comes in.
So
who fixes, what insurance is made available for the collateral damages? Because we can't also say that we shouldn't care about the
because you know what happens.
There's collateral damage everywhere.
You know what? Have you guys noticed?
Let me give you.
Have you guys noticed?
Let me be fair
that?
to. Let me be fair. Let me be fair to Shatta Wale here. Okay. The collateral damage for Shatta Wale is clear for all of us to see. So we've been given this perception that this guy is imperfect and he's this and he's that and he's that. But it's because every time he does something, we see the ripples, right?
Yeah.
How he carries his brand. The only problem I would say with that is he doesn't allow us to process his message enough before he reacts to us not acting about it.
Because the message is trapped in
You
the
understand?
shenanigans.
So it's like you've told me, where you sit no good, get up. And I'm like, why is he saying that?
Get up.
Exactly. Right? So after 1 year of that, anything you are saying to me is an attack.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to listen. But we're in the same country where, for example, let's see Sack's issue. Right? We've all forgotten about Yvonne Nelson, See? Because why? Because Sack doesn't talk chow. Sack allows us to simmer on the information and let time let it die out and fade off. If it wasn't Shatta that came here and even mentioned gun issue, I won't even remember that my brother had any gun issue.
When
he said it on the air, it caught me up. I was like,
you understand? We didn't even mention any of Sack or
exactly.
Name,
and that's why, and you see, I watched the interview again.
Myself, I watched it 3 times.
And all I realized in him mentioning names was he was comparing, or it's from a place of comparison to how we indulge and receive those two that he mentioned, in comparison to how we indulge and receive.
That is why I'm talking about the collateral damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That and the reason is what we just said. Get up.
Yeah.
I tell you yesterday, say get up, get up. Sark will say get up and bounce when you figure it out. But
If I don't get up,
Stone might even see you sitting there. The fire they come and tell you, say, boy, you be cool. You sure? All right, bounce. He might not even tell you to get up, but Shatta will tell you get up.
Yeah.
Shout on you to get up, you know, get up. Fire go bang you finish and come give to you on live. Say, I tell you say get up, no get up. Now your face will make black. You understand? He's on it because his passion,
Gen person,
is driving him, and years of that honestly becomes a bit tiring.
Okay, guys. So
you get what I'm saying?
So looking at the state, we clearly would admit that our creative space in Ghana isn't at its function at its at its best.
Oh, bro, remove the creative space.
No,
and
this,
the in.
I know.
So what,
The creative economy.
No,
the
just
creative economy
Ghana is not functioning.
No, I'm narrowing it down to our space we can relate to. Thank you very much. So looking at the radical approach that he takes in comparison to, and this is a very strange question, in comparison to how people react on social media when they see Honorable Ken Japan wake up and then going back to JJ Rollins, and back at us, looking at our nature. Do you think that this is what we've gotten to a certain, pardon me for want of a better expression, rotten state, where we need this kind of cancer to wake us up in realization of this sickness that we are in?
Before every great change, there is disruption. without disruption, the status quo will persist.
But I don't want us to look
And-
at it as a cancer. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think I
it's
did.
not.
No, when I say a cancer, no, I mean something to come and affect us and spread.
But
That's
bro,
what I'm saying.
before every major,
I'm not talking
before
about
every
a
great
cancer.
change-
I'm saying that I'm just using the nature, the characteristics of a cancer, and how it spreads.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that
Uncontrollable.
we are in a rotten state.
The awakening.
We're in a rotten state.
More
We
like-
need something to spread, be positive or negative. We need something to spread to wake us up to realize that, hey, there's something happening to us. Let us take Shatta out of the equation. What would have been the attitude of most people? Would people have been pushed for their money's worth? Now, if Shatta hadn't erupted 10, 20, 15 years ago, would people push for their money now? Would people ask for what value they
They may be
require?
asking, but it wouldn't have yielded
Would-
quicker
would-
results.
Yeah. Like
Take
it
out.
did.
That's why I went as far back as Tupac. That take out the era of a Tupac at that time. Would people have realized, the power of music and how it could change, or even Bob Marley?
Or could
In my
create a
60 years,
lifestyle.
in my 60 years of being alive, I've
I was
60
I
years?
was born in 2019, so I'm just
no
quite
problem.
new to all.
Those of us coming
the
from
Snatched.
confusion, because he said he
Snatched.
wasn't there in 2019.
it's possible to hate a character and still love the actions of that character. Right? People don't like Trump that much. But people
Trump, I even forgot to
people,
add Trump.
people love his decisiveness.
Where they now saying that his sneakers are sold out. Updates,
will
they say
not,
the sneakers is sold out.
Trump will not back and forth with you on some BS. Pardon my French, right? But Trump as a person, sexual abuse, tax evasion, all these things. Like, Charlie, this guy, some criminal. This is a mob gangster lifestyle. But when he was in power, he took some very straightforward decisions that Obama, with all his niceness, was dilly-dallying about.
Yeah.
This is what we are wishing for our
Yeah.
current president to take certain.
You understand? So nice guys don't get far. Nice guys don't change the world.
Even with women.
No way, bro.
Oh, please.
Nice
Wait,
guys finish
I
last.
think,
I think you have
Wait.
closed me. Me, I'm talking you.
please.
We know in general, no. As in like today's show, no.
No,
We can be only.
Kati,
God
Kati,
rest you.
What do you mean with women?
Yes,
also-
I don't have
How?
a proven science
No,
to it.
but you're
You just
not a
say-
woman.
Oh,
You can just say that.
Well,
do you know what? Do you
can't
know what
say
gets
that.
me about you're not a woman? Do you know what gets me about the line of debate that
No,
Lenny wants
because
to
when
do?
these things come up, you also say I'm not a man.
Yes,
So I
but
can
do you
say
know?
you're
But do
not
you
a
know
woman.
what? Well, the question I can ask you that will diffuse you is a simple question.
What?
How many women have you pursued or dated?
How many men have you pursued or dated?
No, but no. Let me make my point. The reason being is that from the guy's what he said is from a guy's perspective.
It's
And
not
oh,
from
let
a
me
guy's
No, it's from a guy's
I tell you,
perspective.
I tell you that
But you
just
said
for
that's
your.
what you've heard.
No,
Sorry.
but I didn't hear from a woman. I heard
Charlie,
from a guy.
listen. As a guy, talking on behalf of Gaiosis, that's the island of
Guy
guys,
men.
guy men. We have all been the bad guy,
Yeah.
right? This
Yeah.
girl said, if I get here,
Polygamy. Speaking for the polygamies.
on behalf of guys, right?
Let me watch you.
Make you watch me. Your eye go for cocoa, I will take out for you. On behalf, listen, guys, if you speak to any guy, you see, women don't talk to guys, or guys don't tell women the truth. Something is wrong. Nice guys. Oh, this is how I feel. I want to be there for you. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
John.
Massa, we know where we pack that back.
Oh, please.
Oh.
Aren't you a
Are
nice
you not the
guy?
guy? Are you not the
Didn't
guy?
you get married? Aren't you a nice guy to your...
said?
Do you know?
Wait.
Do you know?
To
Let me ask you a
your
question.
wife. It's not
Do you
why
know-
you're married.
Let me ask you a
I don't
question. Lenny.
understand.
Do you know the stress we went through to shave our horns before we were able to allow to enter that church and marry?
You didn't shave your horns because you even gave
Look at my hair.
you gave an instance. No, Siwo has given an instance before where the girl left him, but you were still that good person. You said
Yes,
okay,
and
you moved
after
on.
on the taxi going home,
did you become a bad
I realized that
person?
my Wi-Fi was twitching, and I think that's the day I
Oh, please.
Back
Let's
to
move on. Let's
Back
move
to
on
it,
from
back
this
to it.
women don't like nice guys conversation.
Back to it.
Please, guys, women like nice guys. Women like nice
Um,
guys. Don't mind Olele and
Just Vibes is playing on Wednesday 9 p.m. Such convos will be on
imagine?
Just Vibes with the AC,
So
so you
women
can
don't
Women
like
like
nice
nice guys before
Listen,
before,
I think generally,
before Chris Brown has multiple assault cases.
generally,
Yes.
what it
Massa,
is,
massa.
Yes.
I think that nice people don't win as much. It's not about women-men situation, right?
It's the same
If
thing you
are
just
nice,
said.
No.
Where
It's
are they not
about-
winning?
No, it's not about the women and the men situation. I think it's more about the aggression, right? I can be a nice person and have a tinge bit of aggression, right? And someone can be nice and have a higher level of aggression, right? The niceness is still there, but it's the level of aggression that will make them win or not. So you don't have to be a bad person to be aggressive. That's all I'm saying. If you are focused on a certain message and you want to push your message across, you can. Typical example will be Shatta Wale, where people attest to his niceness or his softness or his calm, right? But what we see largely on the media front is that aggression. Is why I'm speaking on the level. For maybe someone like Jay, you're a nice person, right? But you have a tinge bit of aggression to you, right? If you and Shatta are talking about the same thing, you may go one level of aggressive. Shatta will go 100 of aggressive, right? Who will they listen to? Whose voice will be more out there? So I don't think it's about the niceness or not. It's about the level of aggression you are ready to go to. And everybody has that level of aggression in them, whether you are a nice person or not, right? Everybody has aggression. Cyril,
I want to go to.
Can I say
I think it's the level of aggression.
Just because you have aim, I want to read your.
Olele,
your
you see me
page.
aggressive before.
So let me
Me
read
personally, I
these
don't see
pointers that
Thank you,
Ole shared
Olele.
on his X handle. Okay, real quick.
Lenny, why?
It starts on number 1. He says,
can't even
Oh,
talk.
Foley,
Shatta Wale is a
Foley,
victim.
no, I will not let my reputation be worn like socks.
Well,
Please.
what happened?
Since you've known me, how many years have you known me? You see me aggressive before.
Oh, no.
Me where I be battle rapper safe.
Somebody,
You see me aggressive.
what I want to say, I can't even say it on air, like,
Oh, you are suffering from osteoporosis.
Yes.
Also, you collapse
Alright,
here.
please, I beg you.
Because-
Number 1.
You collapse and we'll
The
give you mouth to
learnings,
mouth.
the
To
learnings,
your mouth
as,
and
the learnings as Olele has shared on his X. He says Shatta Wale was a victim of circumstances. Now, a broken home, parents were going through a bitter divorce, and that affected him. He had to leave home. Number 2, he says his father was and is a politician. Now, he had seen money at a very young age and lived a luxurious life, and he didn't know what it meant to suffer until he was allowed to step aside to play basketball with his friends, where he heard them murmur about hunger and poverty. Number 3, yeah, he mentioned that.
Yeah.
Number 3, he said his father didn't want him to do music but pursue another career that matched his father's status. And that's where another fight starts. Number 4, uncle dared him that choosing to do music was a spit to his father's status in society, and that he could never be a star. Another reason why he left home to the streets. And for you to even decide not to listen to an elderly person and fight for yourself in itself,
It started from.
that's in itself is chaotic.
I don't listen to anybody. I don't listen to anybody. I don't listen to anybody.
Number 5, he says he didn't leave home because he was poor. Let's understand that. Because he wanted to make his own money and be
Beans.
successful to prove a point.
Be his own king.
And that thing in itself is like you need a certain level. Like you need to probably read, think, and grow rich. You need to
Yeah.
probably
'Cause
you,
you
need
got-
to mad your mind.
You got money. Parents
You
got
have
money.
to, yeah,
But
you have to
make
mad your
money.
mind
That's
before you can
crazy.
get there. Number
Yeah.
6, get into my favorite. He says, according to him, when he broke out as Bandana with Mokoho, he says he lost his mojo of making hit songs for 6 years. He looked for a hit song and nothing worked. Nothing. People couldn't recognize him. He fell into an abyss of frustration. I can imagine. We saw that from artists that have clearly come out to say they get depressed and
You know,
frustrated.
The power he says he was a
not
We've
just
heard
not just
from
not just
EL.
artists. Not just artists.
Yeah, I mean,
Creators.
we've heard from EL. I mean, the most recent is when I said Flex Jamin again reposted Kofi Jamal's message that he's been in dark times for the past year.
That's
No song out there, but
crazy.
he's got to live it. Number 7. Now, this one is where I kind of made a pictorial for myself.
Yeah.
I just closed my eyes to imagine the moment. He says he was denied an opportunity to play at Mvado's concert at the Accra Sports Stadium in 2011.
And cried.
And which was, and hold on. Which year did he release Mokoho?
Go was like 20.
that was bandana time.
Yes,
though.
which
me
I'm
check,
just
please.
asking. Like that was
Oh,
like,
have to check.
Let me cross-check, please.
like what 2001 there or 2 or
Please, let me
thereabouts.
cross-check.
Somehow
Let me cross-check.
at that time, and a huge concert is being organized, and you've already gone through 6 years of dark times, with a chance of going to grace a stage. Going to grace a stage that could
2004.
and four that could arguably be your turning point.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. So only what you wrote aloud, he said that according to him, his close friend at that time hugged him and told him in Ghana that one day he would fill that stadium with his own concert.
Yeah.
And for me, do you know how much motivation that is like?
Yeah.
If I wanted to cuss on this platform, I'll say like, pardon me, let me say,
We
fuck
get
it. I am
I was trying
going
to stop.
I am going to make it. You know, and you will need some adrenaline to be able to.
The desperation.
So then came Base Awards. Shouts going out to our very own Ezekiel Tete and aka Stip and
Grandfather Club.
Oh God. For creating that platform. And that night, I recall, I didn't attend the event, but that night when Shatta performed and the audience went bonkers with his performance, singing song that me, radio and TV had never heard before. Because he had been, little did he know what he was doing. He had been going from stage to stage in smaller shows, community around Labadi, Nima, Kolegon, you know, playing those small shows. He was creating. Eddie, I know you are watching the show. Eddie, are very old Eddie. Community building.
He likes that word.
Yes, he was building a fan base community by community until the day that Stip and Bull God brought all of them to one place. The big eruption happened. Let's move on. Number 8. It says he had an encounter with God in his 10 years of obscurity away from home, where he struck a deal to give him one more chance. And he said it there that Charlie, for him, it was like they had called him back. That, hey, Charlie, I'm going to give you one more chance. And if you don't know and you repeat...
he said that at the Base Awards?
No, he said it here.
He said it here.
Yeah, that if he repeats his mistakes. So, like, it goes back to what Cyril is saying, that here you are with a do or die chance. Like, what was the consequence? Charlie. The person punished me 10 years. He punished me. I'm back here. Maybe I may say things, my verbal abuse might be... But who are we to measure? Who are we to measure the verbal abuse? And for collateral damage conversations, also by GB. So some people were tagging me and saying that Jay, today he's throwing money at you, tomorrow he'll come at you. Yes, I may be the collateral damage tomorrow.
Anybody I talk about,
what I wanted to say earlier, that if you guys have noticed, right, he doesn't just come out to say whatever he says out of the blue. It's always off the back of what someone has said about him, like all the time. All the time.
Number 9.
Yeah, we agree with that.
He said that Orele says that he did his music to prove his father and uncle wrong, that he could make his own money and be his own king. But of course,
it's become a beast.
Yeah, it's become a beast. I sent a message to Steve and I said they are responsible for this monster that they created. America is responsible for creating this guy, the terrorist that they Osama bin Laden. He says he's no longer doing music for money. At this point in time, he has made it, and he's very okay. He said to me in our conversations prior to this that I won't mention the figure, but he said, Jay, I see X millions of dollars from my hand inside. So what again if somebody for radio or TV, they come talk to me? He doesn't see it as the same way we all see him. Number 12 says he believes that his brand doesn't inspire violence either by himself or to his fans, but rather discipline and fighting for what is rightfully yours. In the past 72 hours, almost all the handles tagged as Shatta something. Shatta bundle, Shatta gash, Shatta Roma, Shatta Jollof, Shatta this, how tag me. And I thank all of you so much as well.
There are more lessons.
Plenty. There are more lessons in there.
I want to say something.
Our time is up.
Just real quickly that I also want to put on record that we as a media house take feedback, reviews and comments seriously. And we noticed that people actually do follow the show and they uphold us with, some level of standards. Okay. And I think we've taken the feedback with some of the things they said. We will look to implement them, in our other conversations. However, I would entreat everybody to go and watch the full interview. It's 2 hour 32 minutes on YouTube. Watch the full interview. There are a lot of things in there that even me during the interview I missed out on until I watch it again. And you may learn a thing or two.
Or three,
or even 4.
1 billion.
I do not agree with some of the things he said about industry, but that's a conversation for another day, But I think you guys should look at the interview without prejudice. All right, watch the interview without prejudice, and enjoy the humanity side of Shatta Wale, because every other thing right? But at least we were able to bring the humanity side of Shatta Wale. Finally, this is how best you need to understand who Shatta Wale is. look at the Ghana music industry as Gotham, right? Shatta Wale is always going to be either the Joker or Penguin. It's not going to change. So we need to just embrace it.
On that note, we're
Gotham
back
City.
here tomorrow on Culture Daily. It's Jay, Cyril, Olele, and Lenny, and hope you had an amazing morning with us. There's more to come on the show. Watch out, our man, Incredible Ziki's got some great stuff for us. Get to know him personally at 7:30 p.m. tonight, right here on 3 Music. And on that note, we are out.